Hello, everybody. My name is Miss Bender, and I am officially recording your introduction lesson. Today's purpose is for me to say hello to all of you, get to know you all a tiny bit better, and show you around our online class portal and go over the syllabus and our projected schedule for the semester. I hope you all are doing very well, but let's get going. My name is Miss Bender. I've been teaching at Chattahoochee Tech now for 3 years. This is the first semester that I will be doing completely online classes for you guys. I'm used to teaching these face-to-face, but we all know with our current pandemic and situation, things got to change a little bit. So here we are. First things first, you will log into Blackboard to get to our online class. I'm going to turn on my student preview mode so I will see what you guys see and you guys don't see like the tabs and such that I have. To get started in this class, there is a Start Here button. You're going to click the Start Here on the side. You have a brief introduction, a little blurb about navigating over here, how you should behave online with the internet. Email is the fastest way to get in contact with me. Disability statement from the college, and the course's grade scale here. Right? When you come to lessons, the first thing you're going to do is hit the Start Here button. This is very, very important. This is where the syllabus and your projected learning schedule are, your no-show assignment, and the same blurb about navigation over here. So I'm going to show you around a little bit before we go over the syllabus and the projected learning schedule and general expectations for our classroom, which we'll cover in the syllabus. So as far as navigating goes, most things are going to be over here in the Lessons tab. The important stuff you got to know is Start Here for this week, and then after that, we will simply be going through all of our chapters. This semester, because this is A&P2, we are going to cover the endocrine system first. That it would be your hormones and the different glands in your body. I'm not going to lie to you. This unit and the immune system tend to be the two that trip up students the most because you're dealing with more chemical thought processes like hormones and blood cells as opposed to actual organs that you can poke, like where your stomach is and that kind of thing. So we kind of hit the ground running in A and P2. So endocrine system is first, then we'll go over your blood a bit. After we go over your blood, we will learn about the heart, blood vessels after that, and after we're done with all of your circulatory system, we'll talk about your lymphatic system and your immune system. The lymphatic system is the system around the blood vessels where your immune system lives, and your immune system will be talking about white blood cells and how they act. Mini warfare in your body. I enjoy your immune system. After that, we'll be talking about your respiratory systems, the digestive system, a little bit about nutrients and how your body actually breaks down sugar into energy, which would be your Krebs cycle, if you guys remember that from the dark days of high school biology. Your urinary system would be next, and then the reproductive system after that. At the very bottom of this page is the tab for exams and tests. This is where I'm going to be putting all of your unit exams. So this is where to find them. Be aware that they'll be put there. Right? We'll talk about your tests when we hit the syllabus. If you notice, I slightly glossed over this one chapter called Fluid, Electrolyte, and Acid-Base Balance. I am unique amongst the teachers at Chattahoochee Tech for a couple of reasons. I am not a chiropractor, unlike most of them. As well as the fact that this random unit here, to me, seemed extraordinarily random. And I dislike talking about these fluids and electrolytes and other parts of your body when the different fluids and chemicals in your body react within the different systems. So with the way I teach the class, I've taken everything you need to know from the fluid and electrolyte system, and I've stuck the parts you need to know about into their respective systems for digestive system, respiratory, that kind of thing. So when we start talking about what happens when you hyperventilate and the fact that doing so can make your blood slightly acidic, instead of having its own unit based around that concept, I'm going to talk about that in the respiratory system. Because of that, we basically have one less chapter to go over in our lecture, but there's a tiny bit more that fits into each individual body system. So our testing schedule may not be as strict and stringent as some other teachers because of that. But you have this lovely set system here. Within each unit, we're going to click endocrine system first because this is where we're going, right? First, you can see the college's current objectives, learning activities, and that sort of thing. The OpenStax textbook chapter for the endocrine system, which is a free online textbook that Chattahoochee Tech uses for anatomy and physiology, so you don't have to buy a textbook. Everything is done in OpenStax. And then below that, you'll see a few different folders. We have Bender course resources, the discussion board for this chapter, study and review resources, and videos of the endocrine system. So these are videos that the college thought would be good at teaching you the endocrine system, in addition to having class time. So you have some Khan Academy videos. I love crash course videos. You'll see those ones again in just a second. Amoeba Sisters, which give you a decent overview of processes that the video is for. The Amoeba Sisters are also used in high schools and whatnot, so they give a pretty succinct, easy to understand view of signaling and how to talk about this sort of thing. In this one, you have study and review resources, and these are all of the resources that the college gives you. So you have study guide notes, the PowerPoint, other lessons from Soft Chalk, Study Mates, review quiz, that sort of thing that the college gives to all of its students by default. The Chapter 17 discussion board here is the link to the discussion board. I'll show you the discussion board in a moment. And then you have Bender course resources. If you click on Bender course resources, this is pretty much where my lecture classes are going to live for the units, right? So you have 3 folders within your Bender class resources here. You have one folder that is lecture note taking guides, objectives, PowerPoints, and videos. Another folder that says Bender recommended videos and case studies. And then you have Bender coloring pages. I'm going to touch on each of these briefly so you know what to expect. A lot of students, when they're studying anatomy and physiology, do find coloring books and pages useful. And under normal circumstances, we can all run down the hall to the library and take photocopies of coloring books and pages that the library has to offer. Unfortunately, under COVID restrictions and such, that may not be possible for everybody, and I assume you're taking an online class for reasons, and you don't necessarily want to spend a great deal of time on campus. Because of this, as I find good coloring pages for whatever body system we're talking about, I'm placing them here. So here we have the only picture I have, honestly, of the endocrine system and coloring pages for it so you can learn where the organs of your endocrine system are. And you have some nice close-up views of some of them so that you can color and learn and label. As I find more of these, I will add more images. Some units I have more pictures for than others. If you have any of those resources and you have any other images that you think would be good to put here, please send them to me and let me know. Just send them to me in an email and I will put them up for everybody. Under my recommended videos, I I too like to live on YouTube, if you can't tell by the sheer number of tabs I have open on my computer. I do a lot of things on my computer, and I tend to treat computer tabs as though they're little branches of my memory, so I tend to have a lot of things going at a time. I find videos online, and I find case study videos as well, because I think those are good for learning experiences. So I place videos here that I think you guys can learn from and would find enjoyable. So I've also linked you guys to the Crash Course System videos because I enjoy Crash Course, and I've also found another case study video for you. This one is from a user named Chubby Emu. He is a doctor that makes informative case study medical videos on YouTube. And this case study is about a girl who suddenly grew a beard because her ovaries were messing up. This is your endocrine system, and it's an interesting case study. So if you'd like to watch those videos, feel free. I think they add to the experience and understanding. But for the most part, you want this lecture, note-taking guides, objectives, PowerPoints, and videos tab. So this is your objectives. If you click on your objectives, it's going to pop up in whatever word processing program you have on your computer. And we can see the college's former breakdown of what they needed you to know in the objectives. The current objectives that are listed at the beginning of the unit on Blackboard are a succinctly phrased version of all of these. I like this a little bit better because it breaks down the points that you need to learn a little bit more. So I am giving you the original objectives that were pre-COVID for the course so that you can see them. I also am giving you these fill-in-the-blank note-taking guides. I give these to all of my students. And these are the note-taking guides that I designed for my anatomy and physiology classes. They are broken down by objective. So you have endocrine objective 1, compare and contrast hormonal and neural controls in the body. So you have fill-in-the-blank, space to type and take notes, all that kind of good stuff. Everything is broken down by objective in one large Word document. This will come in handy later, or as we go through this semester. Because this is online learning, and I don't know your learning styles, I've also provided you with the completed note-taking guide. This is the one that I have created, that is my notes on the subject, that have everything you need to know listed right here on them, broken down by objective. Whatever you need, you have it for this class. The reason why I'm pointing out these note-taking guides, and here's the link to the endocrine system PowerPoint. You guys know what that is. I don't need to click on it now. We are not going to have a set meeting time for this class. It's an online course. I assume that means you guys have varied schedules to take and needs to take an online course. So I will be posting videos for you guys to learn from. I was initially going to treat it like a class and do hour and 15-minute long videos to post for you, but I decided that wouldn't necessarily hold everybody's attention over correctly, and it would probably be better if I actually made videos that were broken down into the easy-to-understand objectives and break down your learning videos, like your introduction to the endocrine system, comparing it to the nervous system. That's what Unit 1 is. And then describing to you how signals work, what hormones are, what organs we're going to be talking about, how these chemicals are classified, before we get into specifics of organs. So I'm going to break down your videos into easier chunks to digest that will be slightly shorter based on these objectives for the course. And as I do those for you guys, all of these videos will be posted here, like succinctly in order. I'll give you a few of them a week or however much we should be covering to keep up with our schedule. But this is basically the tab that you would be living in for our course. And that brings us back to the syllabus and your projected learning schedule. Right? So we're going to look at the syllabus first. Right? So your syllabus is here. This is my name. I'm Miss Bender. My email address is right here. I'm Megan Bender at chattahoocheetech.edu. That is the best way for you guys to contact me. I will respond to any emails you have. Right, there we go. If you need to see me for open office hours, ask for an appointment. We can work something out. I do live closest to the Paulding County campus. In addition to that, I also teach. I have one online lecture, one online lab, and a face-to-face lab on the Paulding campus. If you would like to see me one evening, or you really need to see models to understand something, drop me a line and you can come and visit me on a Wednesday night when I have lab. As far as I'm concerned, you're my lecture students and they're my lab students. I want you guys to understand anatomy overall. You'll be, I'm going to take care of you. But I am on campus on Wednesday evenings from 7:30 to 10 o'clock for lab. If you need to see me, feel free. This is our CRN. We're learning anatomy and physiology too. This is a completely online class, so if you never want to see my shining face, you don't have to, right? And because this is online, if you work nights and you're bored at work and you're doing your coursework at 3 in the morning, awesome. There is no specific time for this. If you're a morning person, feel free to get up and do your thing at 8 in the morning, do it at 5 in the afternoon. You plan your own time. You are an adult and can do that. The only things you really need for this class, you need a good internet connection so you can indeed interact through Blackboard. You all have a Blackboard account because you're students. You will, however, need to download the Respondus browser. You guys will be given links in an announcement, and that will be posted for you as well under the Start Here tab to download your Respondus browser. Because for tests for this class, you will be required to use the Respondus browser, and I'm going to have webcam tracking for the exams. That means that you will be taking the tests in a different window. When you download Respondus browser, you download a Chattahoochee Tech specific web browser. It will be on your desktop just like Safari, Internet Explorer, Firefox, which is my chosen one, Chrome, whatever you guys choose to use. It'll be on your desktop with those. You click on Respondus browser. When it opens to the Chattahoochee Tech Blackboard site. And from there, when you go into the test that will then be open, it will not allow you to open any other tabs. You can't switch windows on your computer. That way you can't tab back and forth. Like I can tab back and forth right here from the notes to the syllabus. You can't do that in Respondus browser. It prevents that process from happening. Because it's a test and an exam and you're supposed to do it from your head. Right? So this is why we have that enabled for tests and exams. Your course description. It's anatomy and physiology. I'm going to be teaching you about the human body and how it works. This class's topics include your endocrine system, which is your hormones, cardiovascular systems, blood, lymphatic systems, immune system, respiratory system, digestive system, urinary system, and your reproductive system. Whatever you have learned, get untouchy about that, because I will happily say words like penis or vagina that you should be able to know and label because this is anatomy. The reproductive system is part of the body. We will be going over it. Right? So that is a fair warning. You don't have the ability to magically opt out of that system. Your grading scale for this class, same as any other thing in Chattahoochee Tech. An A is a 90 to a 100, a B is an 80 to 89, C 70 to 79, D 60 to 69, F 0 to 59. But that would be your grading scale for this course, and what each class is weighted, right? You have 4 chapter exams here and a final exam. The 4 first exams are worth 80% of your grade, and the final exam is worth 20%. If you are wise with math, like I know you all are, this means when you combine all of those together, that each individual test is worth the same as your final, and each test, including your final, is worth 20% of your grade. Overall. So it's each exam is worth 1/5 of your grade. They're all weighted equally. Right? Chattahoochee Tech still has a no-show policy for no-show assignments and students. This means that I'm going to be giving you one assignment this week that you have to turn in by Sunday at midnight. Right? So you have a week from today to do this. Your withdrawal policy and procedures. Right? Around the 9th week of the semester, first week of the semester, you can add drop swap classes to your heart's content. After that point, between next week and the 9th week of the semester, you have the option, if you do not feel as though you are doing as well as you would like, if it's not working out, all that kind of good stuff, you do indeed have the option to withdraw from a class. If you withdraw from a class, it means your transcript takes a W. So there will be a W on your transcript. After the withdrawal period has ended, if you withdraw from the class, you will have a WF on the transcript, which means you both failed and withdrew from the course. W's during the withdrawal period do not count on your GPA because there's no number. It just says you withdrew from the class for whatever reason. That said, a number of financial aid programs, such as Pell Grants and that kind of thing, give you financial aid based upon the number of courses you take and the number of course hours you take. So if you are, for example, trying to get into a nursing program and you're worried about your current grade, so you withdraw from the course, one thing you may need to think about is, will that affect your financial aid? Because if you fall below a certain number of course hours taken, they may pull your financial aid for the semester. I don't know the details about that. You would have to actually talk to the people in the bursar's office or the financial aid department. I'm just giving you guys fair warning. Withdrawing is an option. However, it could affect your financial aid because I don't know each of your financial aid quirks, right? Your student email accounts are the preferred method to email me. If not, I will send you to tech support if you're having issues logging into it, because we always have issues logging into this in Blackboard. The number one issue I will tell you about your email in Blackboard: if you attempted to change your password and you only tried to change your email password, or you clicked on the change password button on Blackboard, that messed it up, because you need to change your password system-wide so that your system has the same password when you try to log into a school computer, your email, and Blackboard. Otherwise, everything falls apart and it doesn't know who you are. So the most common way that we can fix that is by getting you in touch with tech support, and then they will sync up your password and let you reset it for the entire system so you know what you're doing. Let's see. This is all of your distance learning mumbo jumbo, tech support. Here's your help desk information for talking to tech support and that sort of thing. Open computer lab, success centers, they are on every campus. There are libraries open on every campus as well. Academic integrity, don't cheat. If I catch you cheating, I have to give you a 0 for the exam, and with exams counting for 20% of your grade, I wouldn't risk it, right? Because that's like, even averaging everything out, if you get a 0 for 20% of your grade, that means you just took minus 20 on whatever your potential grade could be, and that means that the highest you could have gotten in the class would be an 80, right? So don't do things like that. Like, don't submit other people's work, don't cheat on tests, don't, don't falsify information, like lab data. Just do your thing, right? You're in here to learn. Do your own thing. I know you guys don't want a doctor or a nurse if you go to the hospital that doesn't know anything because they cheated off of somebody else. Don't be that person. Right? As far as that goes, right? Makeup and late work policies, right? When I give you tests in this class, if we look at the calendar down here, right? This is an online course. People have different amounts of time for online work. All of your tests are once you start your test, they are all timed. You will have an hour and 15 minutes, which is the same amount of time that you would have in a classroom to complete your test. The way your tests are laid out is you can have the test open for a total of an hour and 15 minutes before it submits your grade. After that point, it will submit the answers that you have. When you are taking your tests, you are only going to see one test question at a time, and you will not be able to backtrack to previous test questions. So that means that if you begin taking your test, and you get to question number 5, and then all of a sudden Hurricane Bob, the newest fear for the month of November or whatever, flies through the state and knocks out our power, you may panic at the time, but when the power comes back on, and you reboot up Blackboard, and let's say those first 5 questions were easy for you and you blew through them in 10 minutes. When you open back up Blackboard and go back to the test, you will still have an hour and 5 minutes on the clock for taking the test because you already took 10 minutes for the 5 questions you answered. So you will still have time because it's time with the test open, not time from when you started. However, the test will open on question 6 because it will have already submitted answers for questions 1 through 5. So your test will reopen to the next question you have not answered, which would be question number 6, and then you can continue taking your test and go forward. This is why it does not allow backtracking to test what you know. Additionally to that, the questions on the tests, the computer shuffles them. So different students have questions in different test order. But that is how tests are done on this online class. If you have other issues other than that, right? Like you get an error message on Blackboard or something ridiculous happens, right? Should you encounter technical difficulties, take a screenshot of your error message and email me a picture of it. This is instructions for how to take a screenshot. If you're running Windows or a Chromebook, you hit the print screen button. And the print screen button is the button that is next to the F12 key on your keyboard if you're looking down. If you're running Windows 10, you can go down to the bottom right here, start typing in scissors or snipping tool. Click snipping tool. You can create a new image, and it brings up this little crosshatch that I'm looking at. You can highlight a part of your screen, and then lo and behold, I have a picture of just what I highlighted. That would be how you take a picture on a Windows computer, and then you can save the images, whatever, and email it to me. If you are on an Apple computer, for Macintosh, you hit the Shift key, the Command key, and the 4 button, and that brings up the same snipping tool that I just showed you on Windows. And it will automatically save the image to your desktop, and then same thing. Please make sure that the date and time is visible on your screen for screenshots, so I know what we're talking about. Right? But send me a screenshot of your error message. I will work with tech support and we'll get things worked out and resolved as quickly as possible, and I'll take that into account that like Blackboard or Chattahoochee Tech messed up, so that you would still be able to take the exam. That said, when I give you guys your exams, they are going to be open for block periods of time. That means once you start your exam, you have the hour and 15 minutes to take the test. But some of you may only have internet at work and you work Monday to Friday. Others, because of childcare, you may not be able to have time to do school stuff until the weekend. This is an online course, and please get in contact with me so we can work things out if something is wrong. But because of that consideration, whenever I give you guys an exam, your test will be open on Friday and Saturday for you guys to take. That means that the test will be available to you to take for 48 hours, one day on the weekend and one day on the week. So your test is available for 48 hours, but within those 48 hours, you have an hour and 15 minutes to take your test. If something happens and there's weirdness, let me know. We can work out other things. We can tweak the schedule, all that kind of good stuff. Right? Grades, etiquette, copyright notice, attendance policy. Have we already done the disability one? I don't think so. Distance learning. All right. These are all of your general attendance policies, assignment schedules, etiquette, things that are in all syllabi on Chattahoochee Tech. This last bit here, course accessibility with Chattahoochee Technical College's equity statements. This is essentially your statement for the Office of Disabilities or Title IX coordinator, that sort of thing, right? If you're military and we need to do something about things, it needs to go through them. That being said, with all of this lovely disability service and that kind of thing, right? If you have a disability, for example, if you're dyslexic and you need double the amount of time to read the tests and exams, I cannot give you the extra time on the tests unless the Office of Disability has signed off on it. Otherwise, that is a legal loophole with keeping things equitable between students. You have to go through the Office of Disabilities. If anything like that applies to you, like you need extended time on assignments because of medical issues, all that sort of information, if you need a 504 plan, so you need extra time, anything like that, go to the Office of Disabilities. This is their contact information. Go through them and have them send me the paperwork for it. Because until I have official paperwork and documentation from the Office of Disabilities, I cannot say, all right, you have extra time on a test or something along those lines. You can't come up to me or send me an email the Thursday before a test and tell me, by the way, I need more time, or by the way, I need fill in the blank answers or something along those lines. I can't accommodate that fast. I need to know from the Office of Disabilities themselves about anything along these lines. So please, get that settled now at the beginning of the semester, especially in the event that it takes them extra time to process stuff from the beginning of the semester. Get this done now, because if you try and spring this the day before a test, you're probably going to have to take that one test without disability services. And as we move forward, the last little crucial bit of detail in this syllabus that you will need to know, right? If you need to request a disability-related accommodation in response to COVID, this is their email, disabilityservices@chattech. You have to wear a mask if you come on campus. Everybody is required to wear a mask on campus right now. So here we go for mask face coverings. You have to wear a mask on campus. This is the COVID policy, health and safety statement about COVID-19, and all of our compliance checks, and a Chattahoochee Tech self-report form. Right, if you wish to self-report that you have been diagnosed with COVID, that allows the school to notify individuals. So if one of you is diagnosed with COVID and you self-report to the school, and you had come on campus to visit me in lab or something along those lines, at that point, then I know that I may have COVID and I may need to be tested, and we can alert that classroom that you might have entered into or something along those lines. But that is the self-report form. But this pretty much covers our syllabus. Hope you all don't have any questions about that. What you guys probably have more questions about would be the projected learning schedule. Right? So this week, this is your welcome video for the welcome week, and we're going to start on your endocrine system with basics. After week 2, we're still going to be doing endocrine system until the endocrine system is done. We may start cardiovascular or blood next week. Otherwise, blood can be pushed back to the week after that. And then we will be going over the heart. Generally speaking, when I teach this live, like face-to-face, your exam 1 here is going to be the full endocrine system, blood, and then at least the path of blood flow for your heart. And the rest of the heart, like the mechanics of it, and like electrical nodes and that sort of thing, is pushed back to exam 2. So part of this, part 2, may be moved back to exam 2 for the online course. But week 4 should be your exam 1. Right? All tests have 50 questions except for the final exam, which is 100 questions and cumulative. But this is your this right here would be your full Unit 1. September 7th is the Labor Day holiday. I will not be posting anything online on Labor Day, so don't expect communication from me that Monday. It's a holiday. The college is closed. Don't show up. Right? But later on that week, you will have test 1. Week 5, we pick up with your heart, hit blood vessels, and then go to your lymphatic and immune systems. Usually that is everything that is on exam 2, and respiratory gets pushed back. So week 8 should be your midterm. However, notice how I said the date is subject to change due to lab midterm. This is one thing I do for my students. You may or may not have me for both your lab and your lecture instructor. Sometimes life is easier when you have the same teacher for both. Sometimes it's not possible to schedule the same for both. For my students that have me for both lab and midterm, lab and lecture, I make sure that I do not schedule your lecture midterm to be the same time as your lab midterm. Lab midterms are dated and organized by the full-time people that work for the college, so they tell me the date that the lab midterm is set up on and when we have to issue the lab midterm. I don't have full control over that. So please be a little bit flexible with this week 8 exam. If they tell me that your lab midterm is on this date, October 9th and 10th, then that means this test gets pushed back a week, and it will be the weekend of week 9. If they push the lab midterm back to week 9, then you guys will have your Unit 2 lecture exam this week. But my job is to test you on the knowledge that you've gained, not kill you with a heart attack from the stress. So I will not give you the midterm and the test at the same time, if that makes sense. You will not have both of those on the same day if you have me for both lab and lecture. I can't make any promises about that if you don't have me for both. I'm sorry. So, tentatively, this is when your midterm is. Week 9 starts Unit 3, which is going to be your respiratory system, digestive system, as well as the cellular respiration and metabolism, nutrients, that kind of good stuff. The withdrawal date, right? So your withdrawal date is on October 27th. So you will have a couple of weeks after the second test to decide if you like the class and if you want to keep your grade and move forward with it. But that's your withdrawal deadline. The week after your withdrawal deadline is when you'll have exam 3 over respiratory, digestive, and nutrients. right? After that, we'll pick up with the urinary system and the reproductive system. You will not have class over Thanksgiving holiday. I will not be posting anything for you that week except Happy Thanksgiving. You will not have classes or anything to do over Thanksgiving holiday. The week we get back from Thanksgiving holiday, though, right, is going to be the week 4, or exam 4 week, because that is the week before the semester ends. So exam 4 will be that week. If you notice, the dates for exam 4 are the dates like the last day of week 16 and the first day of week 17, which happens to be a Sunday, Monday instead of a Friday, Saturday, because this is also week 16 is also the week of laboratory final exams. And like I said, I will not give you guys a lab final and a lecture final on the same day. That's too stress inducing. It's not fair. So lab finals, your lab final, if you have lab with me, should be that Friday, Saturday. And then that Sunday, Monday for that weekend will be exam 4, ovary, reproductive, and urinary systems. And then the week after that will be your final exam week with final exam review. Right? But that generally is your plan for the semester. Like I've said, you guys can email me, and if you need to meet or call so we can talk, we can work that out through email. Just shoot me an email. We all have that on our phone, right? If you have more generalized questions, this is what the discussion board is for, and you are welcome to talk about anything and everything here. You have a unit for general questions, and then the rest of these tabs are all organized based upon chapter questions. So you can ask whatever questions you'd like. I will be more than happy to answer them either publicly on the discussion board, or if you're emailing me, I will send you emails back and we can figure out other ways to communicate from there. But I look forward to working with you this semester, and I hope to get to know you better soon. Thank you so much, and enjoy your introductory message. Oh, before I forget, because I did almost forget something. Your only assignment this week, the thing you need to do, is the no-show assignment. You have unlimited attempts at this, so take it as many times as you want. It is like a freebie point on your grade, so probably like 1% of your overall grade. It's a freebie point. But go ahead and complete this. You can take it or do it as many times as you'd like, but you have to do this no-show assignment before Sunday at midnight. Sunday at midnight, so that means August 23rd, like at 11:59 p.m. After that, it won't let you do the no-show assignment because that Monday, on the 17th, I have to go through and report to the registrar's office any student that did not do their no-show assignment. And they will drop you from the class. So please, get your no-show assignment done so we don't have to go through that and report it. That'll be that, and we can move forward with everything. But that's the only thing that you guys are officially fully responsible for this week. Have a good evening. If you need anything from me, let me know.